Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and see, I told you, I was installing the lights. We can actually see. We are pretty much done with what needs to be done on the ship. It is pretty well airtight. There's a couple of detail things in greebling that we haven't done yet, but we can deal with that later. But today we're going to launch this beast into orbit. But first, we have to get started. So let's go. So, happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic week and are setting up for a even better weekend. We have been busy, just doing some work in the after hours, and we were able to get pretty much everything done. Let me go ahead and turn the spotlights on here. So we now have all of our hangars in. We have the detailing over here. We've got the nacelles welded up. And we're going to do some more work on the nacelles. We're going to have some bits that hang off the back here, just some general greebling. The engineering section is completely welded up at this point. At some point we're going to need to come through and do some painting on here too. But we did get the jump drive set up, and we're going to walk you through the engineering section here shortly. Just want to let you see what it looked like, as we've been doing a lot of the final welding off camera. So we do have, I did clean up the area here as well. We had one of the assemblers out here, so that assembler has been removed. There's only one assembler on the ship now. And the thruster that was slapped to the front of that thing has been put into position. So now it is actually about where it's going to be for the build in its entirety. So we do have a single full assembler, two large refineries that are half upgraded, and that's just because of the way that they're built into the ship. A lot of ion thrusters, and I have to say, I think if there's anything that's going to be a risk on this ship, it's going to be that if it's in a gravity well, like even here on the moon, we may not have enough lift. So what I may need to do is I may need to come back and where we have the conveyor blocks here, add a couple of more thrusters on either side. But between what we have for hydrogen thrusters and all of the ion thrusters, I think it'll be 50-50. Oh, so yeah, we did go ahead and clean up the skinning. I cleaned up the paint a little bit. Obviously have a lot more painting to do. Now, one of the things that we did do here in the central area, I can turn the light off now, is we've gone ahead and put in a lighting system. We've made an airlock. This is just a simple two-door airlock system. And then we have some labeling here so that you know which way you're going when you get inside. And this ship is completely vanilla. No mods involved in the building of the ship. The only thing that you will need is the DLC that they did. So, I mean, technically, I guess it's a mod. It's because the DLC is part of the core game, but you have to activate it. I don't know. Anyway, so we have the two hangars here, also with their own small airlock area, and as you can see, is completely pressurized. In this case, we have our miner over here, and I just got lazy and I've been out mining ice all day, so I wasn't turning it around for the show, for the big reveal. On this side, we have hangar 2, and we have our little scout, which hasn't moved since I've parked it in here. I have to say, I'm very happy with the way that the hangar system turned out. I was very surprised that it worked as well as it did. And having made 2 of them, doubly as proud of them. Okay, so is that? That's just weird shadows. Okay. So coming back midship here. And yes, I haven't installed the airlock I think, is it Issy's who, it was either Whip or Issy who did the airlock, the simple airlock script. At some point I will install that as well. But you have the primary habitation area, which has got our survival kit, aka the spawn point. I threw an ATM in, so if you're out harvesting those wonderful signal systems, the satellites for the bonus stuff, whenever you get credit, you can come in, deposit it right away. You don't have to worry about visiting a base, so makes it a little bit easier if you happen to be that, 58 kilometers away from a base. Or what is it, 5,800 kilometers away from a base. Now we do still have the 2 simple furnaces in here. We haven't really changed the LCC3 configuration too much. So it still has, the oxygen generator, the full assembler. The only thing we really did was add to it, which I have to say, it came out pretty nicely. I'm actually very surprised by just how well everything came together. Obviously you have the toilet and then another bed. So you do have 3 berths in here, so it's not too bad. Come up here. This will take you to the micro bridge, which is still a micro bridge. I didn't change it, and part of the reason for that, because I had a couple of people say that they thought that I should, and mainly the reason I didn't is because you've got a really nice view outside of this thing as it is, and I didn't want to change the characteristic of the ship too much. But like I said, this ship, once we have it, after we get it into orbit, actually I'm going to probably take a blueprint of it before. We're going to do a save, obviously, before we take off, and we'll leave those yellow. Why not? This takes you out over the cargo pods. What I was going to say is we're going to do a save before we lift off, mainly because of the fact that I want to be able to upload the ship. So what I'll do is, even if the ship, like if we go to take off and everything explodes and kills everybody, we won't go back to the save. We won't revert back to the save. But I want to have the ship available for you as it is right now. So we will be able to have a save that has that specifically in it. So we come back aft of the bridge area, the low interchange, and I'm wondering if there's a way I can get lights in here. I don't think so. What I may need to do, we got a light right there, so I may need to brighten that one up a little bit. But it's also not a bad idea having a little bit of the dark space there. Okay, so the engineering section, we were talking about ways to make this, be a little bit more, I don't know if comfortable is the right word, but, a little bit more entertaining. Now, those are ramps, yes? Yes, okay. I was thinking about doing, basically flipping it and making it a 2x1, but then I remembered I put the ramp in there specifically because we had to keep things in a particular manner, so, alright. So, anyway, you come downstairs, you have the windows up above, so you can actually see the tanks. You can see some of the space. You have a small workstation here, so for people, if you are doing this or using this as a multiplayer ship, you'll have stations for multiple people to be able to be sitting down in case you decide you want to use the jump drives, which was actually really important because since we have berthing for 3 people, generally speaking, the multiplayer, most of the folks that I talk to who do multiplayer, they have 3 to 5 people. So you have 1 person flying, 3 people in a berth, and you have extra seats. Well, if you happen to have a larger group of people, you'll be able to have them, a couple extra cockpits. You've got the workstations on either side. We have basically the engineering report area. Now, I don't have anything running a script right now. I don't even have the LCD2 automatics in here, or automatic LCD2 script running. But you can put it in here. You could have your system readouts, whatever. I may do a custom graphic that I include with it. that will have, maybe like some different reports and some visuals or something up here. You have two of the armor lockers. And I did go ahead and put some stuff in here. We've got some tools and ammo in both of these. So, that way you can keep a little bit of separation. So like I said, if you do have multiple people, if somebody loses their gear, you have a place to store it that's outside of the general inventory system. Moving forward, this is our airlock for the engineering section. Over here we have, basically the ready room kind of prep for going out into space. So you have some lockers over here. I'm thinking about putting another set of lockers in. I don't remember which space that occupies. I think, because if I put another set of lockers in here, I could put a light in this corner. Yeah, I could do the do lights on this corner and light on this corner. That might actually work a little bit. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I mean, I could just put a light here in the middle. And on the side, basically, you have the same setup. Now, for the cockpits here, people were asking how, why? Why did you do this? And basically, it's so that when you are landing, those landing gear are the farthest down in elevation as any of the blocks. So with it being so far down, if you're in this seat and you happen to be in charge of the vessel, you're going to be able to land a little bit easier because you don't have to be in a third person perspective. Because some people, like myself, will go through a playthrough and not have the third person perspective turned on even when you're in a vehicle. And for those people, if they enjoy it, this is one of the ways that they can control the ship without having to build in a bunch of different series of cameras and remote drones and everything else. Makes it a little bit easier to handle the ship. Right. And then if you step out through here, we now have a conveyor junction here, which is part of the process to get all of these things piped in. Both of these cockpits are piped in. They provide power as well as hydrogen and oxygen. And then you have a small, like a little step here, and the walkway, which is right there. So you can actually get in and out of here, but it tends to have to be an intentional motion. You're getting out of there by accident is not that easy. I mean, if you just walk forward from here, you're okay, but like trying to get back in, you definitely have to be intending to go this way. So let's go ahead and close that up. Drop down here. And I have to say, I do like the way that the lines of the ship came out. I do think that we are going to have to come through and figure out a paint scheme for it. But everything really came together fairly well, and I was actually very surprised by how well it came out. One of the things that we did do is, if you'll notice here, we have a vent. That vent is set to depressurize. So if you enter an atmosphere, a breathable atmosphere, it will pull atmosphere in and recharge your oxygen to keep you alive on those semi-hostile planets. And then on this side, there's a second one that's actually attached to the conveyor port on the refinery. But so you can't see it over here. Now I was talking about doing a basically replacing one of the blocks inside with a conveyor junction, and then mounting the air vent to that. So it would have been an actual duplication of what's on the other side. But I decided not to. I kind of like having it a little bit individual on each side. So ultimately, it's a hidden detail, but it's something to maybe feel good about it. So, and we have the oxygen tanks tucked in up here. Your lateral thrusters, window into the habitation section. And we do have a gravity generator, which encompasses the entire living area. So it works. All right. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to try and take off on this beast. And I don't remember which one of those is which because I didn't label them. Itchy. Sorry. And it's wearing headphones and one of my ears started itching. Somebody's talking about me, right? Alright, so... Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to kill our headlamps. Oh, we want... Hangers, lower connectors. Is it this one? I think it's this one. We're going to have it switch lock. Yes, that is the right connector. All right. It's gone yellow, yes. Okay, so what we are going to do, we're going to do our save. We're going to do this one just because it has saved both of them. So we have a copy of this with the ship. Okay, so let's go. Hydrogen thrusters. Ion thrusters. Looks like everything is in place. And we have our merge block, right? Okay, so this thing will either fly or we're going to die horribly. I'm not sure which way it's going to go. Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. It flies. Oh, this thing is heavy. Oh, crap, this thing is heavy. Okay. I have a feeling. Let's bring her to a stop. Well, we want her to come to rest. Alright, so we're going to try turning off the hydrogen thrusters and see if we start losing altitude. We're at 505 and holding, right? Hey, we're holding. Oh, that's a slow acceleration. So yeah, we're seriously pushing the threshold of this thing on ion power, which is good. We wanted to make sure that it would be able to, at least survive in a moon. So basically, it looks like with the if we have hydrogen enabled, we should be okay in atmosphere up to about half a G or so. Maybe 3/4 of a G. What I'll do is I'll do a separate save and I'll do some testing that way when I post this thing up. Because we're going to get into orbit here. Once we get into orbit, we'll park it off camera. I'll grab the blueprint, and later today, well, by the time the video comes out, hopefully the blueprint will load. As long as we don't run into the problem we did with the last playthrough where I just could not get the blueprints to load at all. Well, to save and then upload. I'd say that the line is kind of interesting. It almost looks like, like one of the ships from a different game. Yeah, from specifically the game that is about citizenship in the stars. And that should push us 0 G. And then just to slow us down a little faster. Oh, I only have 4. Do I really only have... okay, so, yeah, we're going to have to rebalance some thrusters, I think. But that's the ship. Oh, and we made it into space. And it didn't blow up this time. So I will take that as an all-around win. Alright. Oh, so if we had... let's see. We're going to swing... it's actually not too bad as far as, like, gyro control is concerned. I'm actually not disappointed in the handling. We are going to have to set up the oh crap thruster. Oh, we're closing in on that really quick. I'm glad we're flying higher than it is. Alright. There we go. Okay. So what we're trying to do is figure out where we're going to dock this thing on these stations. So we do need to get it... we're inside a safe zone, huh? Alright, so if we go... that way... let's go ahead and get the whole ship in here. What I'm trying to figure out is where... because I don't think there's a connector on the end. I think it's just... maybe. Actually, I think there's a connector on the end, because I could swear we had this thing connected to the base before. Got a surprising amount of control of the ship. Okay. Yes, okay, there's a connector out there. I thought so. I was sitting there like, I could swear we had this thing connected up before. Now, the nice thing is that we actually have uranium on board. So we are okay to turn on our reactors if we need to, which gives us 20 days of power. So not too bad. Alright, so that gets us into orbit. That is a ship that didn't explode. So I'm going to count that as... ooh. I just realized we forgot to turn the gravity on. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Alright. There we go. I'm probably going to have to tweak that thing a little bit, because I don't know if we have gravity. Okay, we do. I couldn't remember if I had adjusted the gravity yet or not. It's driving me crazy. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to head out. Probably going to adjust that down to half a G. I'm not a huge fan of 1.0 gravity in vehicles. Yeah, so we've got gravity all the way through the ship. Awesome! So, what we're going to do is let's get our screenshot. What is it? It is here. Helps if I do it the right way. So. All right, what we're gonna do? Am I doing? Oh, you know what? It may not let me do it because I'm in the safe zone. That'd be really interesting, actually. No, that's not what I want. Alright, we're gonna do it the easy way. We want... What did we call this thing? Let's turn off that. Static grid 9279. No. Really? Now it makes me wonder if you can't do this inside of a safe zone. It's rather amusing if you can't create blueprints. Well, I guess it makes sense. See, I kind of want to be inside the ship somewhere when all of that is going on. Right. Alright, so let's try this again. There it is. Yeah, can't do it in safe zone. Interesting. Alright. So we are going to edit this. Very not going. Let's see, LCC 3 modified. Penetrawler. There we go. There we go. And do we want to just go ahead and take a screenshot? Let's reposition ourselves a little bit, give you a little bit better view of this thing. What is it? There. Yeah, it's a better view. Okay. And we are going to go ahead and publish this. Mark it as exploration. If it works. Hey! Alright. So it is there. We're going to go ahead and change visibility here really quickly. We're going to set that to hidden for right now. I want to update some stuff in there before we make that available to everybody. But that's the ship. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and end this one here. We learned something new today. You can't create blueprints inside of the safe zones, at least inside of the AI's safe zone. Always good to know, right? Oh, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. When we come back next time, we're going to be starting our exploration. Basically, I'm going to get this thing docked up to the base down here, and one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm probably going to install some cameras on here somewhere, maybe do a block in here-ish, and we'll have, that way we'll have docking cameras on the ship. Make it a little bit easier to get around and do what we need to do. Also means I'm going to have to do one up here somewhere. I guess I could put one over here maybe. Or I could just add a little bump on the front here. One of the things that I'm thinking about doing is putting another connector right here on the front, so that when we come into the stations like this, we'll basically just be able to pull directly in, dock straight up. So I'll probably do that. But this also gives me a chance to get everything labeled and upload, and we'll upload again, so once everything is set up. And that way, all you'll have to do is get into the ship and fly it around. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to thank you all for stopping in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them down in the section below. If you're new around here, haven't done so already, or just want to do something nice for me on this lovely Friday afternoon, be sure to hit that subscribe, and if you want to be kept up to date with what's going on, make sure to remember to ring that bell as well. On that note, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Friday. Have a terrific weekend, and we will see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Whee! Do 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 do.